Have you ever felt like a small boat tossed on an endless sea of emotions, where any single wave can flip you over and drown you in an instant? A casually spoken word, just a passing comment, can pull you down into deep despair that lasts the whole day. A seemingly tiny pressure point, a tight deadline, a tense meeting can erupt into uncontrollable rage, spitting out words you'll regret moments later, and a minor setback, an email politely declined. A meeting that didn't go as planned can touch a hidden nerve so deeply that you want to throw in the towel, close off your heart, and hide away from trying altogether. Our emotions, anger, sadness, anxiety, aren't fleeting reactions. They're like invisible tsunamis. When they flood in, they drown our reason, shatter the bridges we've built with colleagues, friends, and family, and destroy opportunities that once seemed within reach. You might whisper to yourself, "I'll just bottle this up." But the harder you try to bury these feelings, the more they gather strength, ready to crash down on you with far greater force one day. The hidden cost of losing control isn't just a few awkward apologies, it's a massive debt, broken relationships, promises left unkept, career opportunities slipping through your fingers, and worst of all, the peace of mind you rightfully deserve being ripped away. We all crave success, advancing in our careers, forging deep relationships, earning admiration and respect, and above all, feeling truly happy when we wake each morning. But there's a secret key that few recognize. To achieve sustainable success, we must first mature internally. Maturity here isn't about never feeling anything. It's about understanding the root, purpose, and flow of our emotions, so we can respond wisely, rather than being at their mercy. Today, we won't cover the old-school tactics of suppressing or hiding emotions. Instead, I invite you to journey deeper, to understand your emotions at a profound level. We'll learn how to mature in the art of recognizing, accepting, and transforming our feelings in a way that's gentle, yet incredibly powerful and lasting. When you master this inner work, when you truly control your emotions, success in your career, your relationships, and your life will follow naturally, not as a fleeting flash, but as a sustained, confident progression. If you're tired of being at the mercy of your own feelings, if you're fed up with that one comment or that one pressure point dictating your entire day, if you're ready to turn the turbulent tides within into an unstoppable source of strength, then join me. This isn't just a course on emotion management, it's an invitation to become the true captain of your own ship, mastering your emotional currents. No matter how stormy or still the seas may be, open that inner door with me. Face each wave of emotion and learn to harness it as fuel that will carry you toward lasting success. Are you ready for the journey of maturing before succeeding? If so, take my hand, and let's set sail. You may have heard someone say, "Just bottle up your emotions. Never let anyone see you angry or sad." You might even have tried forcing yourself to smile when your heart is breaking, stuffing all those negative feelings into some hidden corner. But in reality, when you bury them, they don't disappear. They smolder beneath the surface, waiting for the moment they can erupt, and when they do, they can sweep away your reason and your self-confidence in one overwhelming wave. Many people mistakenly believe that controlling your emotions means becoming cold and unfeeling, like some powerful leader who never sheds a tear or shows anger. But if you've ever seen a statue, you know it cannot change, cannot respond to you, cannot empathize or connect. Emotions aren't the enemy. They're signals. the internal language that tells you where your boundaries lie, which wounds need healing, and what deep desires are still unmet. True emotional mastery is about recognizing each feeling the moment it arises: anger, sadness, fear, envy, or disappointment, understanding its root causes, accepting that you have every right to feel it, and then managing it in healthy ways. Instead of allowing a single offhand remark to trigger an explosive outburst, you pause and admit, "I'm angry right now." Explore why you feel that way. Then choose to breathe deeply. Hold back an impulsive retort or reach out to a trusted friend. When you honor and respect your emotions, they no longer need to scream to be heard, and you're no longer at their mercy. Imagine two scenarios. You receive a harshly worded email of criticism. In a reflexive reaction, your heart races, and you fire off an angry reply, only to spend the rest of the day regretting every harsh word. Or, in a mindful response, you acknowledge your hurt, step back, take a few calming breaths, and examine the feedback objectively. You identify the useful points, draft a respectful, professional reply, or decide to wait until you're calm to respond. That shift from knee-jerk reaction to thoughtful response is the hallmark of emotional maturity. Reacting is an immediate emotion-driven reflex you often regret. Responding, by contrast, is a deliberate choice aligned with your values and long-term goals, allowing you to express your feelings while maintaining composure. The difference between these approaches is the essence of inner growth, granting your emotions a respectful outlet so your mind and heart can work together, empowering you to face every situation with both confidence and compassion. Once you master this balance, once you practice noticing, understanding, and choosing to respond, you'll discover an unexpected gift. Your emotions become allies, fueling your empathy, resilience, and creativity. And that ability to listen to and skillfully channel your emotions is the key to maturing internally first, so that lasting success can naturally follow. Are you ready to dive deeper into this journey of emotional mastery? Together, step by step, we'll not only learn to understand but to fully live each feeling, building day by day a sustainably successful life rooted in a heart that has truly grown up. Success isn't measured solely by the digits in your bank account or the trophies on a shelf. Lasting success also encompasses deeply fulfilling relationships, vibrant health, inner peace, meaningful contributions to your community, and perhaps most importantly, the resilience to rise again after every setback. Think of all the people you know who drive luxury cars and live in beautiful homes, yet still wake up each morning with an undercurrent of restlessness, haunted by worry and the frantic rush of modern life. That emptiness comes from building your life on shaky ground that hasn't been anchored by true emotional mastery. In your career, mastering your emotions is like holding a golden key that unlocks better communication, smoother conflict resolution, and clear-headed decision-making under pressure. Picture a leader facing a sudden crisis. Bad news lands in their inbox, and instead of spiraling into panic, they pause, listen, and modulate their tone before guiding the team toward solutions. Their calm isn't because they don't feel the weight of the crisis. It's because they've learned to shift from an automatic reaction to a thoughtful response. The result? A confident team, loyal clients, and a reputation that weathers the storm. In your closest relationships, emotional mastery allows you to truly listen and empathize rather than lashing out in defense. Imagine a partner who, instead of reacting with anger when their loved one shares pain, chooses to remain patient, to ask gentle questions, and to hold space for their partner's vulnerability. In that calm atmosphere, wounds heal before they deepen, and the bond becomes even more profound. Conversely, uncontrolled outbursts build invisible walls, pushing two hearts further apart each time they erupt. When it comes to your own well-being, recognizing and regulating your emotions dramatically reduces stress, boosts your resilience, and keeps your motivation alive day after day. Someone who masters this skill won't be paralyzed by fear when they stumble, won't let sorrow rob them of their creativity, and above all, will maintain a positive outlook even when life's waves crash in from every side. Consider an athlete in the heat of competition. A bad call from an official or a rough foul from an opponent can derail the unprepared mind, shattering focus and surrendering victory in an instant. But an emotionally trained athlete knows exactly how to steady their breath, re-establish their stance, and press on with steely resolve. The win itself becomes only part of the story. The real triumph is the unshakable confidence they carry into every subsequent challenge. As you grow in emotional maturity, you lay down a rock-solid mental foundation. At each difficult crossroads, instead of panicking, you stay composed. Amid pressure and temptation, you stand firm. Facing defeat, you refuse to crumble. Why? Because you've cultivated the ability to intentionally transform emotional energy, anger, frustration, disappointment into fuel for growth, insight, and new possibilities. If true success is a richly colored tapestry from heartfelt conversations and moments of quiet reflection to the applause that greets your achievements, then emotional maturity is the elegant brushstroke that keeps that tapestry vibrant and enduring. When you learn to master your emotions, you don't just taste success once, you experience it over and over, each time with deeper satisfaction and renewed purpose. That is the foundation for sustainable achievement. Emotional mastery first, success naturally and lastingly after. On the path to mastering your emotions, there isn't a single magic trick that makes every feeling vanish. Instead, there are practical steps you can take to understand, honor, and transform your emotions into positive energy. Imagine yourself as an artist, sketching out a vibrant inner world. Each step you take is a brushstroke that gradually reveals a stronger, brighter portrait of your true self. First, learn to name your emotions the moment they arise. That initial step of recognition is the foundation for all change. When anger flares, don't shy away. Say to yourself, "I'm feeling angry." When sadness wells up, acknowledge, "I'm feeling sad." Building a rich emotional vocabulary: anger, grief, disappointment, envy, joy, gratitude, helps you move beyond a vague sense of good or bad and into the fine details of your inner experience. As one therapist put it, when clients simply say, "I'm not okay," we can't help. But when they say, "I feel abandoned and anxious," the real work begins. Once you've put a name to your feelings, turn your attention to understanding their source. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What triggered this reaction? You may find echoes of past wounds. Perhaps that harsh critique taps into an old fear of being judged, or a childhood memory of not feeling heard. Gently reconnecting with your younger self, the inner child who once felt powerless, can bring surprising clarity and compassion. Ah, so I'm angry because back then I didn't feel safe speaking up. Next comes the essential practice of acceptance without judgment. Every emotion exists for a reason, like seeds reaching for sunlight. When you allow yourself to think, "I'm feeling anxious right now and that's okay," you give your emotions permission to be heard. You're no longer at war with yourself, and that makes all the difference. Acceptance isn't about excusing harmful behavior, it's about facing your feelings honestly, which then frees you to choose wiser actions. Then comes the powerful pause, the precious moment between stimulus and reaction. Picture that split-second break that stops you from lashing out or running away. When you notice your heart racing, practice a few deep breaths, count to 10, or even physically step back from the situation. As a mindfulness teacher might say, if you can press pause for 5 seconds, you give your rational mind a chance to speak up. Those few seconds can turn a regrettable flash of anger into a thoughtful, intentional response. With that pause in place, you can choose your response consciously. Ask yourself, which action best serves my values and long-term goals? If maintaining a respectful relationship is your priority, you might decide to say, I hear your concerns. Let's work through this together, rather than firing off a harsh rebuttal. Or if you need to protect your boundaries, you might calmly explain, I want to hear you, but I need a respectful tone. To make that choice easier, build a repertoire of response strategies. Don't rely on a single reactive habit like yelling when you're angry. Expand your toolkit, writing your feelings down, going for a brisk walk, calling a friend, or practicing a short meditation. Each method is a different instrument in your emotional toolkit, and the more options you have, the more skillfully you can navigate any situation. Finally, cultivate compassion, both for yourself and for others. When you slip up, instead of berating yourself, offer a gentle reminder, I'm only human, and I'm learning. When someone else's mistakes flares up, try to see their struggle. They must be under a lot of stress. Compassion doesn't excuse hurtful actions, but it does prevent bitterness from taking root. Picture yourself practicing these 7 steps: naming anger, tracing its roots, accepting its presence, pressing pause, choosing a wise reply, pulling from a diverse toolkit, and extending empathy. As you weave these steps into your daily life, you'll discover that you're no longer the helpless passenger of your emotions. Instead, your feelings become fellow travelers, guiding your decisions with warmth and insight. That, more than any single tactic, is the true path to emotional maturity, the cornerstone of sustainable success. When you master this process, you don't just achieve goals once, you build a lifetime of thoughtful action, resilience, and meaningful achievement. When you reach true emotional maturity, you're no longer at the mercy of every wave surging through you. You still feel anger, sadness, or anxiety, but those feelings no longer hijack you or sweep you off course. You maintain your center, refusing to be knocked off balance by a cutting remark or an unexpected challenge. Under pressure, instead of losing your cool and letting your heart race out of control, you know how to steady your breathing, observe the emotion rising, and let it ebb away. Pressure becomes a proving ground rather than a threat, like a well-calibrated weight that strengthens your inner resolve. That inner stability shows up in your relationships too. Connections evolve from fleeting highs to deep, lasting bonds. You listen without leaping to defend yourself. You empathize without being carried away by someone else's emotion. Honest conversations, heartfelt hugs, and timely apologies become the glue that keeps 2 hearts tightly woven together. When it comes to major decisions, buying a home, changing careers, investing your time or money, or even ending a relationship, you're no longer blinded by passing emotions. You weigh your options, look at the facts, and trust a finely tuned intuition. The outcome? Decisions that are sharp, sustainable, and yield positive results over the long haul. And when setbacks inevitably occur, you bounce back quickly, A project that misses its mark today becomes the blueprint for a better one tomorrow. Harsh criticism turns into fuel for improvement. That resilience, your capacity to recover, is what allows you to face any trial with unwavering determination, never letting failure knock you off course. Above all, you cultivate a rock-solid inner peace, like a lantern burning steadily through any storm, impervious to winds that would snuff out a candle. That peace doesn't come from avoiding hardship, but from gradually accepting, understanding, and confronting every shade of emotion. With inner peace firmly established, you no longer have to struggle to appear strong to others. And the most beautiful surprise, success ceases to be about trophies, flashy paychecks, or applause. It arrives naturally, as the inevitable byproduct of living authentically, making wise choices, and persevering day by day. You don't have to sacrifice your core values or force yourself into someone else's mold. You simply step into the success you truly deserve. When your emotions are mature, success flows like a clear stream down the path you've carved. You only need to open the sluice gates, and that flow nourishes every corner of your life. As the gardener of your own journey, you can finally lift your head, smile, and savor the harvest, knowing you've built it from the inside out. As we look back on the journey we've shared, it becomes clear that emotional mastery, not numbing or dismissing your feelings, but truly understanding, honoring, and healthily managing your inner responses, is the bedrock of both inner growth and sustainable success. From simply naming "I'm angry" to choosing "I'll take a deep breath before I speak," each tiny step calms the storm within, transforming you from a passive victim of emotion into the steadfast captain of your own ship. Maturing first, by learning to notice, understand, accept, and transform your emotions, isn't a rigid prerequisite for every little victory. Rather, it's the solid foundation you build, so that every success at work, in love, in learning, or anywhere else comes wrapped in happiness, peace, and genuine connection. With that foundation in place, no storm, however fierce, can knock over the castle you've constructed within yourself. And here's your call to action right now. Emotional mastery isn't a theory to memorize, it's a lifelong practice that requires daily effort. Starting today, carve out the moments to pause each time a strong feeling arises. Silently note, "This is anger," or "This is anxiety." Take 3 deep breaths, then deliberately choose how you'll respond, rather than letting your emotions dictate your words or actions. Remember, you hold the power to change the way you face your feelings. Every time you tame that flash of anger, every time you pause before speaking, every time you acknowledge sorrow without drowning in it, that's a giant step forward on the road to maturity. Bit by bit, you build an inner reservoir of strength that not only helps you weather life's storms, but makes you shine in any circumstance. And once you've grown from within, success outside becomes inevitable. Not the forced, showy kind of success, but the kind you truly desire, lasting, values-driven, and woven with inner peace. Before we close, let me leave you with an image to carry forward. Master your emotional waves, and you will master the ocean of your life. Every wave rests on a firm bedrock beneath. When you no longer fear the rising tide, you not only stand your ground, you ride the swell across vast waters toward the shores you've chosen. This journey may be challenging, but it is undeniably worth it. Begin today, moment by moment, with perseverance and compassion for yourself. The path to emotional maturity stretches out before you, and with each step, you draw ever closer to a life that is whole, balanced, and profoundly successful.